Hello, good evening. So, I want to review one of the Christmas gifts I got this year, and it's a Norwegian New Age magazine. Now, I've been holding off on reviewing Norwegian books and such for some time because I haven't really known whether or not I should review them in English or in Norwegian. Because I like symmetry and I've done all the other videos on my channel in English, but at the same time, since these books and magazines are Norwegian, unless you speak Norwegian, you wouldn't understand them. Excuse me. I have, however, decided to do the reviews in English just to keep the symmetry on my channel. Now, if you think that's stupid, that might be so, but it's what I've decided to do. So, yeah, let me start by saying how I got this magazine. In Norway, we have this custom that, excuse me, I still have a cold, that on Christmas Eve, the family gathers around a table and have porridge. My family actually have tomato soup because none of us like the same kind of porridge, but the same concept. Now, you hide an almond in one of the plates, and the one who gets the almond gets the prize. And usually the prize is some sort of candy. However, since none of the members of my family really can eat sugary stuff, and all of them are New Age interested, so then it was a New Age magazine instead. The New Age magazine I'm talking about, which was my prize, is Magic magazine. This is a new Norwegian publication. It's only on issue 6, and I have somewhat negative feelings about it. Now, since this is the only issue of this particular magazine I've read, I can't really judge it completely up and down because this could just be a bad issue. However, it's filled with advertisements, and it seems to be published by, or at least associated with, fortune-telling hotline company named Magic Circle, and as such there's a lot of advertisements for those services, and also a lot of advertisements hidden as articles. Like, we of course start with advertisements, and then we have the following articles. We have Embla, a spiritual natural talent. This is a presentation of one of the fortune tellers which works at the Magic Circle hotline service. Then we have spiritual journeys. This is a pretty interesting article. It's nothing really new, but it's a nice piece. Then we have Ghosts in the Kindergarten. This is an interesting enough. It's about kindergarten which has had paranormal phenomena and investigations around that. That's a good article. Then we have Arve Polsten, Healer of the People. Yet again, a presentation of someone working with Magic Circle. And of course it has how to get in touch with him and pay money for his services. And Then we have a veteran in hand analysis, palm reading. Now, one of those that published this magazine is named Henning. He is a famous fortune teller, and I don't know, he might be relatively good and just have become completely commercialized, or he might just be a crook. I don't know. Anyway, he is one of those that run that magic circle service, and it's not, I don't have a problem with paying money for paranormal services. The problem with the magic circle services is that they are, well, most of the mediums are given fancy mystical sounding names, and like one person we talked to, me and my mother talked to at alternative convention, he said that she was working for those people, and then she found her number, and now she's a housewife from one of the suburbias in Norway, live a pretty normal life, but she was presented as Natasha from Siberia. Yeah. So it has a very fake vibe. Anyway, Henning highly is associated with that. He's on every alternative convention. He takes outrageous prices for his services, and it's just not good. My mother had her fortune told by this man, and he looks at her hand and he says, "You have many children." And my mother said, "No, I don't. She only has me." And he says, "Well, you could have." Yeah. Now, keep in mind that during such an alternative convention, there are energies flying everywhere. It's not an easy place to tell fortunes at. It's not an easy place to do any spiritual work, really, because it's just chaos. However, just the way he handled it, instead of just acknowledging that he was mistaken, he tries to cover it up by sort of being right anyway. Well, yeah. So this article about being a veteran in palm reading, it's a 2-page spread, and 50% of it is, wait, let me just find it and show you. Page 52. And there's advertisements, 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 and here we are, page 52. So yes, this part is articles, and this pretty big part down here is just how to find what sort of lines you have in your hand, write that on an SMS, and send this man and give him. It equals about $40 for him to send you an SMS back with your fortune based on your hand lines, which you haven't even seen. I think that people like this man gives people that works with the paranormal a bad name, and is exactly what some atheists use when they think that every one of us are scams and crooks. So yeah. Then what other articles we have? We have one about Santa Lucia. This is a custom that's very big in Norway and in Sweden and most of Scandinavia. Basically, on the 13th of December, children and young adults dress up and um, walk around the house wearing white robes, and one of them is Santa Lucia, and they sing a song and they deliver cakes to the members of the household or the school and so on. Originally, this was a custom, a protection ritual really, because the young maidens of homestead would walk around carrying candles and offer cakes to the members of the household, and by that spreading light to the entire farm and protecting it against Lucy, which is sort of a witch or she demon, which it was believed would come down um, from um, she would take over the wild reed or have a similar setup. Sometimes she's part of it, sometimes she has her own entourage, and they would ride through the land and snatch people up. And this protection ritual protected against it. However, in the modern times, most people just see it as a fun custom. Anyway, it's an article about that, and it's also then later been linked to Santa Lucia, which is a Catholic saint. It's a very little in-depth but okay article. Then we have Everyday Miracles. This is an interesting section in this magazine. It's people telling their stories about the paranormal. This is the best section. It has some really interesting stories of people encountering the paranormal in their everyday life. I like that. And then we have The Angels Are Always With Us. Now, again, it's okay but not very in-depth section on angels. Then we have Get Into Contact with Your Third Eye. It's an okay article. You can find better, but it's okay. And then we have Topic, Pets and Christmas. Now, there's a lot of important things that are mentioned here, like what you should and should not feed a pet, what sort of Christmas goodies are harmful for them, and so on. However, what does that have to do with New Age? It's a bit, why is that in this magazine? And then of course you have your average love horoscope thing, very little in depth. It's like you can find in any girls magazine. And you have a Christmas quiz, which also have nothing to do with the paranormal or New Age. Is just Christmas quiz. Why is it in there? And you have a lot of other shallow what happens in 2012, here's your horoscope stuff, and then there are some crosswords which I don't really see why it's in here either, and it is what does doodling say about your personality, which is an interesting article. So yeah, this magazine feels a bit unserious. There are some good articles, however, with the just enormous amount. There are a few pages and then advertisements, few pages, advertisement, few pages, advertisements. With this amount of advertisement, this magazine should be very cheap, if not free, because it's basically more advertisement than material. So yeah, I'm not very happy with it. I'm happy with some of the articles, but the magazine itself seems to be just a ploy to sell these magic circles, fortune telling hotline services. So yeah, I'm not too pleased with this, but since I got it as a gift for I had a lot more fun with the various articles than I would have a piece of candy, so I'm happy with it anyway, but I do not recommend it. And that is my review of issue 6 of Magic Magazine. I hope you all have a nice evening, and blessed be.